So in this video, I want to talk about, is Destined Rivals the best main set from the Scarlet and Violet era? I feel like there could be arguments that it is, and if it's not, I just want to give my opinion based on the data we're seeing here with some other really good main sets from the Scarlet and Violet era, and just seeing where Destined Rivals could possibly, rank up against these. So I pulled up three sets, Paldea Evolved, Surging Sparks, and Drain together to see, the set values, what these sets have going for them, and compare it to Destined Rivals. Now, Destined Rivals is not fully released, but it basically has everything revealed now that people would care about. So I feel like at this point, you could sort of make some sort of assumption with Destined Rivals, with, I guess just looking at the cards, if it's going to be the best main set from the Scarlet and Violet era. So let's just go over some of these. I've omitted some sets like Twilight Masquerade that could be up here, but I feel like for main sets, Twilight Masquerade really isn't that hyped up. I think these three that I picked here are the more popular ones and the more talked about sets. So these are the cards, or these are the sets that I'm going to show you guys the cards of, and see what they have going for them, and then talk about Destined Rivals and how it stacks up against these. So let's first see Paldea Evolved. So Paldea Evolved, is an older set. It's the second main set, and it's a really good one. Now, when this set first came out, people didn't really care for it. People said it was bad, but when you look at the set, it's really nice. This set, one thing it has going for it, there's a ton of IRs in this set. Like, it's a crazy amount of IRs in here, and there's really nice ones. There's obviously the Magikarp, which is the most expensive card in the set. And just overall, all the artworks are really nice. It's a Raichu, which is also pretty expensive. Just overall, like, it's actually crazy when you think about it. When the set first came out, how many people said the set was trash, and you look at it now, like, how could this be trash? And there's just so many IRs in the set. It's pretty crazy. So definitely Paldea Evolved has that going for it. There's a ton of IRs, and people really like IRs, and they're all really nice. So that is one big plus about Paldea Evolved. And you go on to the SARs. Honestly, I feel like the IRs in the set are better than the SARs. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I think maybe some people would agree. Now, there's also some trainers in here that are, obviously pretty sought after as well. So just overall, the set is really good. The IRs definitely carry. Like, the SARs are kind of lackluster in my opinion. But looking at, the total set value, it's at 1,200. And that's pretty high, honestly. A set value over 1,200 for a main set, or anything over 1,000 in my opinion, is pretty high for a main set, because there's other sets like Obsidian Flames, Stellar Crowns are pretty low, like those sets, and even Scarlet Violet base, some of them are in like the 300 or 400s. So a set that's around over $1,000 in total set value is pretty expensive. So overall, I think Paldea Evolved is a really good set. It's a really deep set, has tons of IRs. Pull rates are not that hard. It's a really good set to open, and I feel like therefore it's just overall an almost perfect set just because it has all those factors going for it. So it is good. So Paldea Evolved definitely is a top set. Now looking at Surging, it's really mostly about, there are some nice IRs, but it's mostly the SARs that are really making the set great. It has a few cards that are cool, like the Latios. I think it's the main IR people really care about. There's some other cool ones in here, but that's like the most expensive one. It's decent. The IRs, whatever. It's not. I think Paldea Evolved definitely has a better IR set than Surging, but it's the SARs where Surging Sparks really shines. You can see here, just these few SARs really just make the set a lot better than Paldea Evolved in terms of I guess SARs. Like, I think Paldea Evolved wins with the IRs, but Surging Sparks wins with the SARs. And I feel like the SARs, since they are more valuable, they're harder to chase. I think, in my opinion, makes Surging Sparks a little bit of a better set, even though Paldea Evolved is a deeper set. This set has more value because the higher rarities are more sought after and they're more expensive. The Pikachu here, like 300 some bucks more expensive than the Magikarp. The Latios, I believe, is almost as expensive as the Magikarp. My Lodic's also pretty expensive. I believe it's still about $100. The other cards have gone down, but yeah, mainly these three SARs are really carrying the set. Because other than these three, I think Paldea Evolved would be a better set. I think even honestly, if Paldea Evolved, if Surging Sparks didn't have like that Latios in my Lodic, I feel like you could make the argument that Paldea Evolve is a better set. But it just has a few really good SARs that are really popular that, in my opinion, I think is going to carry Surging Sparks to a higher point than Paldea Evolve, because Paldea Evolve mainly is just the IRs that are really good, because the SARs not really that great. So that's, I guess my take on Surging Sparks. Maybe a hot take, but I think SARs are really going to carry the value of the set. And when you do look at the total set value, even though the set has nowhere near as many IRs, look at the set value. It's more expensive than Paldea Evolve, just because it's these cards. I mean, it's SARs. They're, harder to pull, and if they're sought after, it makes it more expensive. So even though the set doesn't have as many IRs, it is more expensive overall. So I do think, in general, Surging is going to perform better than Paldea Evolved. And I think if you say, ask somebody Surging Sparks or Paldea Evolved a better set, you might get some 50-50s. If you're coming from the collecting side, you might say Paldea Evolved. But if you're coming maybe more on the investor side, Surging Sparks is probably going to be a better set. Now, lastly here, Journey Together. I put Journey Together up here. I know it's a little bit, of a somewhat let down. The hype has definitely died down a lot. But I still put it up here because it's still a good set. I think it does get some unnecessary hate, because when you look at other sets like Obsidian Flames and even Stellar Crown, those have performed perfectly fine. Now, I know Journey Together has come out the gate more expensive than those have. It's just as expensive as those. But you take that into consideration, like, this is still a good set. Like, if those sets are that, like, not bad, but if they're not as good, and I think everyone would sort of agree that Journey Together is probably better than those, I don't know. I feel like Journey Together is going to age better than some people think. It's just in this whole hype thing, it's not hyped up. But I think long term, this set will perform good, because look at the IRs. There's a lot of nice IRs in here. The Raibombi, Wailord, Articuno, the Reshiram. Really nice artworks. Just obviously it's a little bit easier to pull stuff. There's not as much value in here. Prices just overall, as we know, have been going down. Even just the SARs. Other than the Volcanion and maybe the Zacian, there's a lot of nice SARs in here. The Clefairy, Zoroark, Bellibolt, Salamence. They're also, even though they're all going down in price, they're good. And, even though this only has 6 SARs, a lot of them are good SARs. Because compared to Surging, I don't know exactly how many SARs this had, like 10 or 11. Like about 4 or 5 of them are good. This only has 6, and like 4 of them are good. And you can even say the Zacian's good. So I think just even this is a smaller set, it has a lot of good stuff in it. Like, it's compact, but it's good stuff. Obviously, pull-outs are not easy. They're not as easy as like Obsidian Flames, but it's easier to pull the stuff you want because there's just less cards. So I think Journey Together, it's still like one of the top, you could say maybe top 4 sets, top 5 sets definitely of this era, but it definitely is not really competing with Surging or even possibly Paldea really, because it's just kind of lacking the depth. That's the biggest thing, because other than that, the cards are great in here. So Journey, you can see the total set value has been going down just steadily. It's probably going to go sub 900 at some point. The Lulu's Clefairy is now officially under $200. Zoroark, I'm pretty sure if you go on TCG Player, these are actually lower, because I think this site actually lags behind a little bit. So yeah, a lot of these cards have gone down pretty tremendously, but I mean, if you look at other sets where the booster boxes and sealed product are expensive, like Obsidian, I mean, the most expensive card of Obsidian is like $60-$70. So Journey Together, I think it's still a really good set in this era, but it's not going to be at the top because it lacks the set value, it lacks the hard chase compared to other sets. So I would say this is a top like 4 set, maybe 5 set, depending, obviously, if you can take in consideration, value and stuff, it might be a little bit lower, because there's still like Twilight Masquerade that's a higher set value than Journey Together. But I think Journey Together, it's really hard, I guess, to compare Journey Together and Twilight, because there could be an argument there that Journey's worse or better. But Journey, I think, is still good. Maybe a little bit more hate than it should get. I think it'll perform perfectly fine. But lastly here, I want to talk about Destined Rivals, why I'm even making this video. So where does this rank after showing you guys, the other top sets of this era? So far from what we know, I know some of these people, they're a little bit disappointed with Destined Rivals and, the cards that have been revealed. But people had too high expectations, right? People built up this crazy, picture in their mind of this set. And when it came out, there was almost no chance that it was going to live up to the hype with how many people were hyping this up for months and months and months. I felt it coming, kind of, where just so many people were hyping it up that we were going to see like a decent set and people just say it's trash. And that's what we're sort of seeing. A lot of people sort of hating on it. But if you look at what this set has to offer, right? You look at all these cards, the Team Rocket cards. Some of them are just okay, but you look at, the Team Rocket's Meowth. You look at the SARs. I know some people are disappointed, but still, you look at the Mewtwo. It's still probably going to be expensive. The Moltres. And you look at the other cards it has as well. All these other IRs, right? The Misties. I feel like people somewhat forgot about the Heat Wave Arena cards that are in here. Look at these other ones. If you look at the other sets, I feel like it's really hard to make an argument that Surging is better than this set. And I previously have said that Surging was the best main set. But now that this has come out, like, this is obviously better than Journey Together, right? I think that's a pretty not hot take. Paldea Evolved, I feel like it could maybe be there, but it's mainly the IRs that are expensive. Like, that shows something. The SIRs in that set are terrible, and honestly terrible, right? From Paldea Evolved. So I think Team Rocket is the best set. Like, I don't think there's really much contention with it. I think it is going to be probably the most valuable main set, because I believe right now Surging Spark still is at around like $1,400-$1,500. This is going to be more expensive. It has, I think, it's going to have similar amounts of, I think, SARs. I don't know about IRs. It's going to be around, I think, around the same size. It's going to be more expensive, especially with all the hype, the Team Rocket thing going for it. It's going to be the most expensive. And so far, I think when it gets released, I think it's going to be the best main set. Even though it's not fully out yet, I know we're going to have to wait until the market actually comes out with this set whenever it gets released to really see. But I just think artwork-wise, it's kind of obvious to see that this is the best one. But I know some people are disappointed. Some people may say maybe Surging's better, but I think it's still hard to make the argument. There's still a lot of great cards in this set. A lot more, artworks in here I feel like that you would want versus Surging. For example, like the Team Rocket's Mewtwo. I know people, it's like a little bit of a, I guess, toss-up for some people. Moltres, even though it could do more with these cards, still really cool. Just overall, I think this still is a really good set. I'm telling you, people forget about the Heatwave Arena cards. Like, these are still really good. I think overall, it has a lot more chases. I think IRs for Surging Sparks, I think they're not as good as this set. And for SARs, I believe still, I know people don't really, are a little bit disappointed with the Team Rocket. I still think it's going to be, a very expensive card. It's going to be probably, assuming the pull rates are similar, it's going to probably be just as expensive as Surging Sparks Pikachu was when it was released, around $500. I believe that's very possible. And yeah, just overall, even though people are somewhat disappointed, this set is good. It's the best main set. I think that's, not a hot take, but it's not as good as some people maybe saw it to be. And I still really like this Kangaskhan. I'm personally probably going to buy this card whenever the set comes out. I'll probably wait a little bit before, after the set gets released and prices go down, because I really want this Kangaskhan. I don't know what it is. Let me know down in the comments. Am I crazy? I really like this card. Like, I seriously want this card, like, really bad, and I'm just going to buy it probably because there's probably no way I'm opening up this set being this expensive. So that's just my take on Destined Rivals. Comparing it to the previous, sets I've showed you guys of the top main sets, I think this one is by far the best one. But let me know, do you think Surging Sparks or Paldea Evolves better? Maybe even Journey Together? I think this is the best one. It has a decent depth, has a pretty good depth. It's going to be expensive. It has Team Rocket components. It has other really nice, just regular cards. The best main set, I think, by pretty big margin. But let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.